Hello and welcome back to the Kenyan Food Channel. This is
Kim.
and I'm Rob, and today we're going to cook some seafood. Now, a lot of people like seafood here in Kenya, but they just don't know how to prepare it at home. But instead they go to restaurants and pay a lot of money for things that they could easily prepare at home. So what we're going to do for you today is we're going to prepare some blackened tilapia, some calamari rings. You had calamari before?
Maybe unknowingly.
Maybe unknowingly. Okay, some calamari rings with a mango salsa and a garlic dip. Stand by. So just like last time, this is a really easy and fast dish to prepare. The first thing we have to do is we need to cut the squid and marinate it. Now, a word about squid, a lot of people don't know what to call it. They call it octopus, they call it calamari, they call it squid. Octopus is a different animal. So calamari are those long white things that you get in most supermarkets, freezer departments, okay? And where they get their ring shape from is because we're going to cut, it's a tube, we're going to cut that into slices. Now, these often come with this, which most people get really grossed out by, because they're the tentacles, right? With little suction things, but believe me, they're the sweetest part of them.
We'll see.
Okay, so we're going to cut the calamari into small rings. Now that we've cut the calamari into strips, into rings, it's time to marinate it. We want it to relax and marinate and get tender. And what we use for that ordinarily overseas is buttermilk.
Okay.
Kenya, I haven't found buttermilk yet, so we're going to use something very similar. Lala.
Maziwa lala.
Maziwa lala does the job. Yeah, just pour it in. It also removes some of the fish odor or fish smell that you might get.
Okay.
You can actually use lala for meat as well. If you have gamey meat like mutton, you put it into lala. It removes, it makes it more tender, and it removes that mutton smell. So we move it around, and the calamari are resting comfortably in a bowl of lala. So we're going to put that aside.
How long does it take to?
About 30 minutes.
Okay.
Minimum 30 minutes. You can leave it overnight too, but minimum 30 minutes. So while that is marinating, we're going to start on the mango salsa. Mango salsa, really easy. Mango.
Salsa.
Salsa, coming up. Cucumber. Red peppers. Some chili if you like. If we don't like, we leave it out. Red onion. And some nice ripe cherry tomatoes. So what we're going to do with all this is we're going to dice it up.
All of them?
Yeah, you got to dice again, man. Just like last time.
I think there's no tomato with the small one.
Okay, so the small ones we can just cut into quarters so they're nice and chunky. All right. Okay, so choose your weapon again. You want that one again? All right. We're good to go on the mango salsa. Now, an easy way to do a mango, and I'm sure I'm not telling you anything new. Inside is obviously a big stone, mango stone. So, given that it's flat, you know the stone is flat as well. So you cut along the flat side, okay? So we're going to cut through. Gives us a slice of mango. Then we're going to do this. We're going to slice into the mango without going through the skin, and then the other way, and then we pop it out. And there we have our mango cubes.
Easy as that.
All right. Kim is dicing the cucumber in a somewhat unorthodox way. Well, they're supposed to end up like cubes though. But, you know, if the end result looks cool, then the end result looks cool. we've chopped all the ingredients for the salsa. We've put them in a bowl, but we need that little bit of zing herb to it, okay? So what I have here is a little bit of mint.
Okay.
If you can take the leaves off that, because the stems are quite tough. And I have a little bit of parsley. You can use coriander as well if you like. And what you do then, once you have the leaves off, you create like a little bundle of herbs.
Crunch.
Yeah. You don't want to crunch it up, but you want to like create a little bunch of it. And then you just run your knife through and start chopping. And you'll see it's almost ready chopped once you've done that. Now, the way to chop it really fine though, and this is, if you want to look real chefy at home, right, then you hold the knife at the tip.
Okay, like this. Oh, okay.
And hold the handle with the other two fingers. And you start doing this.
Okay.
Everyone will be going, whoa.
But it gets some getting used to because it comes to it.
Yeah, you don't have the round blade to that extent, but if you have the round blade, it works really nice. Okay. All right. Now we've chopped the herbs. We can add it to the salsa. But obviously the salsa needs a dressing, because otherwise it's just dry, chopped up veggies, right? So what we're going to do is, I'm going to take some lemon juice, a little bit of honey. Now the honey, rather than putting sugar into it, is going to take care of some of that acidity from the tomatoes and from the mango. You don't have to use honey, you can use sugar as well.
Okay.
But I like to, we use sugar so much in everything these days that a little pinch of salt, and some black pepper, and that is it. It's still a little bit dry, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a little dash of olive oil. You'll see it'll get shiny and look a lot nicer. I haven't added chili to this because I remember our last encounter with chili was a little fiery in the beginning, so we can leave that to last depending on how spicy the fish will turn out. Alright, so this is the mango salsa done. Alright, so with the mango salsa done, the calamari marinating, we're going to make a quick garlic dip. So if you could take some of this unbranded mayo, but it's good mayo. For dips like that, use good mayo. Don't skimp on the mayo. Cheap mayo does taste cheap. So yeah, just put about 2-3 tablespoons in there. Keep going, keep squeezing that thing. Meanwhile, I'm gonna crush the garlic. And it's crushed. And then run my knife through it. You don't want big chunks of garlic in a garlic dip unless you, I think we had that subject last time, unless you want to be really lonely the next day. Or make your tongue numb. So I'm gonna really squeeze this until it is mashed. I'm gonna put that in there. I think you can still add a bit of mayo. Keep going, yeah, keep going, because this is gonna be quite strong.
I'm going to stop.
Keep going. Squeeze that thing. Squeeze that thing. Squeeze that thing. Squeeze it like you mean it. All right, so while Kim is still squeezing the life out of the mayo, I'm gonna use about a quarter teaspoon of paprika and put that in. And the next thing I'm going to add is a little bit of acidity, a little bit of white wine vinegar, and one of my favorite herbs, a few chives. I'm gonna slice them really finely. Here we are, and add those to the dip. Now you can take a fork or a spoon, whatever you prefer, and just mix that through. So with the dip and the salsa done, it's time to start on fish dish number 1. And today that's going to be blackened tilapia.
Yeah.
And we're literally going to blacken it. We're going to make it black
What exactly?
on the outside. Okay. Blackening is a technique originating from the southern US, whereby you use a spice mix and butter in a very hot pan, and the spices will actually burn together with the butter. But it will not taste burnt, it will actually develop flavor. And it's a little bit spicy and really strong, but it's great for fish and for chicken. Alright, so for the blackening mix, we're going to mix some cumin, coriander and black pepper. About a teaspoon of each. Black pepper, maybe half a teaspoon. Gonna put that in the plate. About a tablespoonful of paprika, about a tablespoonful or a little less of garlic powder, a pinch of salt, and here comes the kicker, about a quarter teaspoon of chili powder. And this is why I left the chili out of the salsa as well, because the fish is already going to have a good degree of spice. So I'm going to mix all these spices together. All right, next thing, we're going to get that pan nice and hot. While that's heating up, I have about 2-3 teaspoons of melted butter here in that little container. I'm going to pour that into the other plate. And this is where sometimes people get it wrong. They think because we're coating the fish, it's got to go into the butter and then into the spices. But the butter is actually what burns. And what makes it taste nice. So you want the butter on the outside.
On the outside, not on the inside.
Right? So we're going to take the fish and we're going to coat it in our spice mix. All right, we've coated both fillets. Is this getting hot?
Yeah.
Just put your finger in it and test it.
No.
I'm kidding. Don't do that. I'm going to crank that up even further because the fish is only going to take about
Less than
2 minutes on each side, so we want to make sure that pan is really, really hot. Okay, so the fish is coated. Now watch. It's going to go into the butter, like so, and from the butter,
into the frying pan.
straight into the pan. And you can see it smoking, and that's exactly what we want. Normally, this is not something that I want to see coming up from a pan, because that's not a good sign, right? But in this case,
That's exactly
that's
what we want.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we want. And you can see the fish is black. This is exactly what we want. Okay, we're going to prepare the calamari. So in go about 3/4 of a cup of flour, spoonful of garlic powder, and maybe a teaspoon of black pepper, a good pinch of salt, and about a tablespoon of paprika. So we're going to mix these spices through. Here we have our calamari. So this is obviously quite messy, putting the calamari in with your fingers and then in the flour and so forth. There's an easier way. I've got a brown paper bag here. I'm going to dump the flour in the mix, in the bag, sorry. And then I'm going to dump my lala squid, the bag. All right, here we go. That's pretty much all of it. Then I'm going to close the bag like so. And I'm going to toss this thing like there's no tomorrow. All right? In the seasoned flour. Here we go. And now let me have a look. Looks pretty good. All right, we're going to dump it out onto the plate. All right, with our squid coated, there's only one more thing to do. And that is to put it into the deep fryer. Make sure that you separate those rings a little bit so that we don't end up with a cluster. The important thing about calamari is that they only take 2 to 3 minutes. If you cook this too long, it'll be like rubber. All right, now with our fish blackened, our calamari fried, mango salsa done, garlic dip done. What's next?
Eating.
Plating.
Oh,
Plating, then eating.
Plating,
But you
then
know,
eating.
we can eat it straight off the. But at least here we try to make it look a little bit nice. So stand by for the plate, which hopefully you will like. Again, you could see it's really easy to make with few ingredients.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty and tastes good. So yeah, stand by. Well, we've plated it. Only one thing left to do. Dig in. All right, here we go. And let me know what you think about
Everything.
blackened fish.
The spices that are made on the tilapia, pretty nice.
It's not spicy.
It's just not at all.
Now, the one thing I've been waiting for, and you know what I'm gonna say, is for you to try some calamari.
Due to public demand.
Due to public demand. Before the shoot, Kim actually said to me, I'm not gonna touch this, but here we are.
But
So, yeah, dip it into the garlic dip.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and give it a go. It's not that bad, is it? It's not that bad, is it? It's pretty good.
No, but others are.
Kim's eating the squid. I'm eating some more of it as well because it's one of my favorites.
Until next time.
Until next time, yeah. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.
Thanks, guys.